From the small town of Plains, Georgia, emerged a leader destined to leave an indelible mark on the world stage. Jimmy Carter's journey to the presidency was one of unwavering faith, intellectual curiosity, and a deep commitment to service. His story began in the heartland of America, where values of hard work and integrity were instilled from a young age. Carter's path led him through the United States Naval Academy, molding him into a disciplined and strategic thinker. He returned to his roots, immersing himself in the family's peanut farming business, and answering the call to public service in the Georgia State Senate. In 1976, America listened intently, as this soft-spoken yet determined man shared his vision for a nation grappling with division and disillusionment. His message of hope, honesty, and a government that truly served its people resonated deeply across the nation. With unwavering faith and a heart full of empathy, Jimmy Carter embarked on his journey to the White House, ready to lead America into a new era of peace and prosperity. Jimmy Carter's early life was a blend of rigorous academic pursuits and hands-on experience. His time at the United States Naval Academy instilled in him a deep sense of discipline and strategic thinking. Following his graduation, Carter embarked on a career as a submariner, honing his leadership skills in the demanding environment of underwater warfare. Upon his father's passing, Carter returned to Plains, Georgia to take over the family's peanut farming business. This transition showcased Carter's adaptability and deep commitment to his family and community. The 1976 presidential election took place against a backdrop of national disillusionment and a yearning for honesty in leadership. America was grappling with the aftermath of the Watergate scandal and a stagnant economy. Into this tumultuous arena stepped Jimmy Carter, offering a message of hope, healing, and a return to ethical leadership. His promises were simple yet profound: to restore trust in government, champion human rights, and pursue peace. Carter's campaign was a testament to the enduring power of hope, integrity, and a belief in the possibility of progress. In September 1978, the world watched as leaders from Egypt, Israel, and the United States gathered at Camp David for peace talks. President Jimmy Carter played a pivotal role in orchestrating these negotiations. For 13 tense days, Egyptian President Anwar Sadat and Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin, mediated by Carter, engaged in intense discussions. Carter's unwavering commitment to peace culminated in the signing of the Camp David Accords. The agreements led to Egypt becoming the first Arab nation to officially recognize Israel, and Israel agreeing to withdraw from the Sinai Peninsula. This historic achievement underscored Carter's relentless pursuit of peace and his belief in the power of dialogue. The Camp David Accords reshaped the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East and earned Carter international acclaim as a peacemaker. Carter's role in this historic achievement remains one of the most celebrated aspects of his presidency. Jimmy Carter's presidency was marked by an unwavering commitment to human rights, both domestically and internationally. From the outset, Carter articulated a vision of a foreign policy deeply rooted in ethical principles. He addressed issues of political repression and human rights abuses by openly criticizing regimes that violated fundamental freedoms. His administration took a bold stance by cutting military and economic aid to countries with egregious human rights records. Carter established the Office of Human Rights within the State Department, ensuring that human rights considerations were integrated into American foreign policy. Domestically, Carter's focus on human rights translated into efforts to address systemic inequalities and injustices. He championed civil rights and worked towards reducing racial and economic disparities. Carter's legacy in human rights is an enduring reminder of the moral leadership he strived to embody throughout his presidency. President Carter's tenure was marked by a series of domestic initiatives aimed at addressing pressing national issues. A key focus of his administration was economic reform, as the country grappled with stagflation. Carter's approach included a mix of fiscal discipline and innovative policies designed to stimulate growth and curb inflation. One notable achievement was the implementation of the Airline Deregulation Act of 1978, promoting competition and leading to lower fares. However, Carter's administration also faced significant challenges, including the energy crisis. His administration introduced measures to promote energy efficiency and reduce dependence on foreign oil. Despite these efforts, Carter's presidency was often overshadowed by economic difficulties and a perception of managerial inefficiency. Nevertheless, Carter's initiatives laid the groundwork for future economic reforms. Jimmy Carter's presidency was marked by a forward-thinking approach to energy and environmental policy. Recognizing the urgent need to address the nation's energy dependency, Carter launched initiatives aimed at promoting energy conservation and renewable energy. A cornerstone of Carter's energy policy was the establishment of the Department of Energy in 1977. Carter's administration also passed the National Energy Act, encouraging energy conservation and reducing reliance on fossil fuels. In a symbolic move, he installed solar panels on the White House, signaling a shift towards cleaner energy sources. His administration invested in solar, wind, and geothermal energy research. Beyond energy policy, Carter championed environmental conservation, signing the Alaska National Interest Lands Conservation Act. Carter's energy and environmental initiatives were ambitious and forward-looking, reflecting his belief in sustainability. The year 1979 brought unprecedented challenges to Jimmy Carter's presidency. The Iranian Revolution sent shockwaves across the globe, impacting the United States. In November 1979, Iranian students stormed the American embassy in Tehran, taking 52 American diplomats and citizens hostage. The hostage crisis became a defining moment of Carter's presidency, casting a long shadow over his administration's foreign policy achievements. Carter refused to give in to the terrorists' demands, pursuing a strategy that combined diplomacy, economic sanctions, and the threat of military force. A daring rescue attempt, Operation Eagle Claw, ended in disaster, compounding the administration's woes. Throughout the ordeal, Carter remained resolute in his determination to bring the hostages home safely. The hostage crisis tested the limits of American patience and resolve, but Carter refused to abandon his commitment to diplomacy. The Iran hostage crisis unfolded against a backdrop of domestic economic turmoil. The American economy faced stagflation, a combination of stagnant economic growth, high inflation, and rising unemployment. Long lines at gas stations and rising prices for essential goods became common. Carter's economic policies faced criticism from both sides of the political spectrum. The public grew increasingly impatient with Carter's handling of the crisis. The economic woes facing the nation cast a long shadow over Carter's presidency. Despite these challenges, Carter remained committed to finding solutions to the nation's economic problems. He continued to advocate for policies that he believed would promote long-term economic stability. The late 1970s witnessed heightened geopolitical tensions, challenging the United States' role as a global leader. The Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in December 1979 marked a dangerous Cold War escalation. Carter condemned it as a violation of international law, forcing the U.S. to reevaluate its Soviet relations. He responded with diplomacy, economic pressure, and a boycott of the 1980 Moscow Olympics. The invasion marked a turning point, ending détente and highlighting the limits of diplomacy. Carter, a peace advocate, grappled with Cold War complexities, promoting human rights and democracy. The 1980 presidential election took place against a backdrop of national unease. The Iranian hostage crisis gripped the nation, highlighting Carter's foreign policy struggles. The economy was mired in stagflation. Carter faced an uphill battle for re-election. Ronald Reagan offered a different vision for America. Reagan's optimism resonated with voters. He promised to restore America's standing and defeat communism. His Morning in America message was powerful. The election marked a shift to the right. Reagan won a landslide victory. The results reflected a desire for change. Carter, gracious in defeat, prepared to leave the White House. Despite challenges, Carter left with his head held high. He remained committed to peace and human rights. Leadership meant making tough choices. Carter's presidency left an indelible mark on history. Jimmy Carter's presidency was just one chapter in his extraordinary life of service. In 1982, Carter and his wife Rosalind established the Carter Center. This non-profit organization became a testament to their vision of a world free from conflict, disease, and oppression. The Carter Center emerged as a leading force in the global arena. From mediating peace agreements to combating diseases, the center's work reflected Carter's belief in the interconnectedness of humanity. Carter's post-presidency work transcended political divides. Through the Carter Center, Jimmy and Rosalind Carter empowered communities and championed peace. They traveled tirelessly to conflict zones, seeking peaceful resolutions. Their efforts extended beyond mediating peace accords to addressing poverty and inequality. The Carter Center's work became a beacon of hope. It served as a testament to the power of one person's commitment to making a difference. Jimmy Carter found a new calling, leveraging his experience to create a more just world. His journey was a testament to the enduring power of hope and positive change. Jimmy Carter's work with Habitat for Humanity stands out as a shining example of his humility and dedication to serving others. Carter and Rosalind joined volunteers to build homes for families in need. They actively participated in construction, from framing walls to painting siding. Carter's involvement was a testament to his belief in sweat equity and faith in action. He saw the transformative power of homeownership, uplifting families and communities. Carter's enthusiasm inspired countless volunteers, making Habitat for Humanity a global movement. His annual Carter Work Project drew volunteers worldwide to work alongside him. These projects united people from all walks of life to provide safe, affordable housing. Carter was simply a fellow volunteer, working tirelessly to make a difference. Carter believed every person deserves a decent place to live. He saw housing as essential for stability, dignity, and opportunity. His efforts left an enduring legacy in homes built and lives touched by his compassion. Section 3, Global Health Crusader, Combating Disease and Suffering. Jimmy Carter's post-presidency life was dedicated to global health, tackling devastating diseases. Through the Carter Center, he led efforts to eradicate guinea worm disease in Africa and Asia. Carter's commitment was unwavering, facing skepticism and challenges head-on. He believed neglected diseases deserved attention and required multifaceted solutions. Carter traveled to remote villages, met with infected individuals, and rallied global support. His efforts raised awareness, secured funding, and empowered communities. Under Carter's leadership, the Carter Center made significant strides. Public health interventions and education dramatically reduced cases. Carter's hands-on approach and advocacy were key to this achievement. His commitment extended beyond guinea worm disease. He championed efforts against river blindness, malaria, and other diseases. His work reflected his belief in the dignity of every human life. Carter recognized healthcare as a fundamental human right. Section 4, Witness to Democracy, Safeguarding Elections and Human Rights. Jimmy Carter's unwavering belief in democracy and human rights found expression in his post-presidency work as an international election observer. Recognizing that free and fair elections are the cornerstone of democratic governance, Carter led numerous election observation missions to countries transitioning to democracy or facing challenges to their electoral processes. His presence as an observer, often in volatile and unpredictable environments, lent credibility and international scrutiny to these elections. Carter's election observation missions were not merely symbolic. He and his team of experts meticulously monitored every stage of the electoral process from voter registration to vote counting. They met with government officials, political parties, civil society organizations, and ordinary citizens to assess the fairness and transparency of the electoral environment. Carter's reports, often critical and unflinching in their assessment of electoral shortcomings, helped to deter fraud, expose irregularities, and promote accountability. Carter's commitment to safeguarding democracy extended beyond election observation. He used his platform to speak out against human rights abuses, political repression, and the erosion of democratic norms around the world. He met with dissidents, championed the rights of marginalized communities, and challenged authoritarian leaders to respect the rule of law and the fundamental freedoms of their citizens. Carter's post-presidency work in election monitoring and human rights advocacy demonstrated his unwavering belief in the power of democracy to bring about positive change. He recognized that democracy is a fragile thing, requiring constant vigilance and the active participation of informed citizens to thrive. His efforts served as a reminder that the pursuit of democracy is an ongoing process, one that demands our attention and commitment if we are to create a more just and equitable world. Stories of Carter's everyday grace. Jimmy Carter's life was a testament to humility. He believed in the inherent worth of every individual. His acts of kindness painted a portrait of his values. One story recounts Carter's encounter with a young staffer. Carter asked for help moving a desk, engaging the staffer in conversation. The staffer felt seen and respected. Another story highlights Carter's commitment to inclusivity. He invited sanitation workers to dine at the White House. They were touched by his genuine interest in their lives. These stories reveal Carter's character. He never sought the limelight. His actions were driven by respect for all. Carter's humility was a reflection of his faith. Section 2. The Teacher and the Student Carter's Passion for Education. Education held a special place in Jimmy Carter's heart. He believed that education was not merely a means to an end, but a transformative force, capable of empowering individuals, strengthening communities, and fostering a more just and equitable world. Throughout his life, Carter remained a dedicated teacher and a lifelong student, always eager to share his knowledge and learn from others. Carter's commitment to education was evident long before he entered the political arena. After leaving the Navy, he returned to Plains, Georgia, where he taught Sunday school at the local Baptist church for decades. His lessons, rooted in his deep faith and his understanding of human nature, resonated with people of all ages. He had a knack for explaining complex concepts in simple terms, making even the most challenging scriptures accessible and relevant to his students' lives. Carter's passion for education extended beyond the traditional classroom. He was an avid reader, a prolific writer, and a sought-after speaker who shared his insights on a wide range of topics, from global politics to the importance of faith and service. He saw knowledge as a gift to be shared, and believed that everyone had something valuable to teach and something important to learn. Through the Carter Center, Carter established programs to promote literacy, improve access to education for girls and marginalized communities, and empower individuals with the knowledge and skills they needed to lead healthy and productive lives. His commitment to education was a testament to his belief in the power of knowledge to break down barriers, bridge divides, and create a more just and compassionate world. Section 3. An unwavering moral compass, standing up for what's right. Jimmy Carter's life was guided by an unwavering moral compass. He stood up for what he believed in, even against the grain. His commitment to principle earned both admiration and criticism. Carter made human rights central to his foreign policy. He challenged authoritarian regimes, even at a political cost. His legacy inspires activists and human rights defenders worldwide. No account of Jimmy Carter's life would be complete without acknowledging the profound influence of his wife Rosalind. Their love story, spanning over 7 decades, was one for the ages, a testament to the power of partnership, shared values, and unwavering support. Rosalind was more than just Jimmy's wife. She was his confidant, his advisor, and his partner in every sense of the word. From the early days of their courtship in rural Georgia to the halls of power in Washington, D.C. and the far-flung corners of the globe where they traveled on humanitarian missions, Jimmy and Rosalind were an inseparable team. They shared a deep love for each other, a passion for service, and an unwavering commitment to making the world a better place. Rosalind's sharp intellect, her keen political instincts, and her deep compassion made her an invaluable asset to Jimmy throughout his career. Rosalind's influence on Jimmy's presidency was undeniable. She was a trusted advisor, attending cabinet meetings and weighing in on key policy decisions. She was a passionate advocate for mental health awareness, using her platform as First Lady to break down stigmas and champion increased funding for research and treatment. She was also a tireless advocate for women's rights, working to advance gender equality both at home and abroad. The Carters' partnership extended far beyond the political arena. They were active members of their church, devoted parents and grandparents, and tireless advocates for peace, justice, and human rights. Their love story was one of shared values, mutual respect, and unwavering support. They faced triumphs and tragedies together, always drawing strength from each other's love and unwavering commitment to their shared vision of a better world. Jimmy Carter's journey from the peanut fields of Georgia to the global stage is a testament to humility, integrity, and service. His life's work touched millions, leaving an indelible mark on the world. He was a president, peacemaker, humanitarian, and champion for the marginalized. Carter's legacy is defined by countless acts of kindness, inspiring generations. True leadership is about empowering others and recognizing human dignity. Carter's life was a symphony of service, from diplomacy to eradicating disease. He earned the Nobel Peace Prize for his unwavering commitment to peace and justice. Carter's legacy lives on in those he inspired, and the acts of service in his name. Jimmy Carter's life was a masterclass in integrity. He possessed an unwavering moral compass that guided his decisions and actions. Carter's commitment to integrity was evident in his stance on human rights. He believed all people deserve dignity and respect. His legacy inspires generations to lead with principle and fight for what is right. Jimmy Carter's life's work, though monumental in scope, was but a chapter in the ongoing human story. The challenges he dedicated his life to addressing, poverty, conflict, disease, inequality, remain ever present, demanding our attention and action. As we reflect on his legacy, let us remember that his journey is not over. It is our journey now. Carter's life is a call to action, urging us to embrace the same spirit of service, compassion, and unwavering commitment to justice that defined his extraordinary life. It is a reminder that each of us has a role to play in creating a more just and peaceful world. We can honor his legacy by engaging in our own acts of service, no matter how small they may seem. We can volunteer our time at a local soup kitchen, mentor a child, donate to a worthy cause, or simply treat those around us with kindness and respect. We can educate ourselves about the challenges facing our communities and the world and use our voices to advocate for positive change. We can embrace the power of dialogue and understanding, seeking common ground instead of perpetuating division. Carter's life teaches us that change is not a spectator sport. It requires active participation, courage, and an unwavering belief in the power of collective action. Let us honor his legacy by picking up the torch he carried for so long and continuing the journey toward a more just, compassionate, and peaceful world. The path he illuminated is ours to follow.